Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt. I'm a wildlife photographer based in Northern California, where it's very, very hot right now, and it is so bright in here that my transition glasses are transitioning to sunglasses, but that's not here nor there. Today we're talking about the Peak Design Sling, the 10-liter version 2 of this bag. Now, I have been on the search for a shoulder bag that I could accommodate the Canon R5 and the 100 to 500 lens, which you can see right here. And this is the bag for me. So I just wanted to do a quick review and share that with you. So let's hop into it. My demands for this type of bag were pretty straightforward. I wanted a discreet, relatively, bag that I could wear around, that didn't weigh a lot, that could accommodate maybe 2 lenses and the Canon R5, or this lens right here, the RF 100 to 500, which is my primary wildlife lens. Now, why not a larger bag? Well, I've got this amazing bag, and I am happy to do an additional review of this thing. This is a Shimoda Explorer 35 version 2 bag, and it is just extraordinarily comfortable and amazing, and it can accommodate so much gear. In fact, it can accommodate almost all of my gear, including the EF 300mm f2.8 version 2 lens with the lens hood off of it, or for example the DO lens version 2, the 400mm f4. This bag is so big that it can accommodate that in the main ICU, which is really cool. But for everything else, like when I'm biking around town, or I just want to go out and shoot wildlife and owls at night, I don't necessarily want a bag this large because I'm just bringing one lens with me in my camera body. But I also don't want my camera to be just sitting out there, kind of visibly, obvious to everyone. Crime is on the uptake in Northern California, in the Bay Area, and having a white lens like this out in the open, or even worse, like one of those big great whites, like the 400 f4, people see it, they spot it, it stands out in the environment, and it attracts attention. And so I wanted a bag that I could just tuck everything into and just kind of like carry it on my shoulder, but easy run and gun, and be able to pull out the camera out of the bag. And so that's what I was looking for. And I considered a couple different options. I looked at the Moment 10 liter, I looked at the 6 liter version of this bag, and thought about, there's a Hex Ranger bag, which I thought looked kind of cool. But I settled on this bag because I found a used version at B&H Photo, and it was about half off, about 40% off. So this is normally about 160 bucks, which I think is pretty expensive for what it is, but I ended up getting one for $95, which I thought was a reasonable amount of money to spend for this. So let's just do a quick little run around of this bag. It's super light, it's basically like a very small laptop bag is sort of how I would describe it. Almost like a very well padded version of those like Toshiba or Dell bags that ship with the bags, the ones I mean that you get for free. So it's not like, anything that special, which I think is what you want. It's just kind of like a very streamlined, minimalist design, only a few pockets. There's this pocket here that you can kind of hop into here, and this is where I've been putting like the lens strap and my phone. And then there's a pocket inside here, which is useful. It's kind of a soft material that can expand. I can put like the DJI pocket in there or something like that for recording stuff. And then the main appeal to this bag is the main compartment here. And I had to show it to you here. But you can see in that it's just basically a compartment there. It's kind of like squared off, and I don't know, if you're interested in the details of the bag, you can look at one of the other reviews. I mainly just wanted to talk about like how I can use this and what it can fit. So, if I put, for example, the RF 100 to 500, and I take off my EF-R adapter and I throw this on like so, I've got the lens here. And when I've compressed it like this, what's great about this bag is, look, it fits. I'm like, how can I do this without, knocking it over here? But you can see it fits almost perfectly in there. There's like a little bit of room on the end there, and it's flush against the bottom. And that's really what I wanted, was a situation where I could just zipper it up, have my camera lens in there, put it on my shoulder like so, you know, and pull out the camera, take a couple shots, and discreetly put it back in there, zipper it if I need to, and just be done with it. And that's exactly what this bag does, which I'm really happy about. It can even fit the 400 millimeter f4 when I don't have the lens hood on it. And that's actually been kind of nice. I shot owls. Well, I went out to shoot owls yesterday and I shot a hawk instead. But I, you know, was photographing that hawk and I was able to use the EF 400 f4 and actually keep it in this bag, which is pretty amazing. So that's the deal. This particular one was used, only shipped with one of these awesome dividers that they have. It should ship with two, but they can be replaced for like 15 bucks. I actually only need one, so it's not really a big deal. And then alternatively, I can fit the RF and like, you know, the 14 to 35 in there, for example, with the 100 to 500, as long as the 100 to 500 is vertical. And so that's a really nice, like, kit for going hiking or something like that. So let me just show you how that would look if we put the lens cap on there. You know, you can see the lens actually fits. It's like almost like exactly the right height. So it goes right up to the edge here, but it can still close with sufficient padding, so it can fit vertically. And then you can put the R5 and or the R7 or R6 or any of those bodies, you can put with, you know, the lens on it. This is the one, the 14 to 35, and that can sit in right next to it. You can throw the lens divider or the divider in here right next to it, and then just zipper it up. And, you know, here I've done this. That's kind of a piss poor demonstration here because I put the lens or the camera strap in here underneath all my equipment. But if I pull that out, you know, I can zipper this up, and I've got the RF 100 to 500 and the R5 and the 14 to 35 all in a pack like this, which I think is kind of awesome. It's like the exact right size for someone who has that 100 to 500 lens and wants kind of a discreet way to carry it. The strap is nothing really that awesome. Like, it's nothing so dramatic, but it's very comfortable. I don't know. I haven't been a big fan of the Peak Design straps in the past. For example, I had the version 1 of the everyday backpack, and I felt like the straps were too rigid and not padded enough. But this is a huge departure in the version 2 of the Sling. Maybe they used it in the version 2 of the backpack as well. It's soft and pliable, but padded sufficiently, and so it conforms to your shoulder, and it's just like a very comfortable bag to wear around, and I haven't noticed any issues with weight or anything like that. So, you know, I feel like it distributes the weight pretty well. I'll show you here. I'm 6'3", so you can see, you know, what it looks like. But it's a pretty nice setup you got here. It hangs well, locks, you know, conforms to the body pretty well, sufficiently padded all around. So, you know, I feel pretty good about that. The final thing I was going to show is that you can fit the 14-inch MacBook Pro in the compartment, which is designed for a tablet. So I just wanted to show that as well. Now, I wouldn't totally recommend doing this, and I don't plan to do it. There's a laptop sleeve. It's really beautiful, the tablet sleeve. It connects with a magnet, as they love doing at Peak Design. But if you put, you know, a 14-inch MacBook Pro in there, you can fit the MacBook Pro into the sleeve. And if you push it down, you can kind of tuck it in there, and it is possible to zipper it. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this for two reasons. The first is that you can't clasp that magnet because it's actually too large a laptop to fit in the tablet sleeve, which makes sense. The other thing is when you pull over the lid, like here, you know, that's the laptop there, and you pull kind of the lid closed to the bag, it's leaving the corners, like, they're a little bit padded, but it's pretty tight. There isn't a lot of room. So if this were to like sit in your car or something like that and fall out of your car and hit concrete or something, I'd worry a little bit about the corner hitting here, because it's just not designed for a laptop that size. Now, on the other hand, you know, you do have like a little bit of padding here that's kind of built in with this lip. And so this may be the point that would hit the ground. So all in all, it may actually be sufficiently padded. It's kind of incredible you can get a 14-inch laptop in this thing. I mean, there's all the room you need and like nothing you don't. And that's exactly why I like this bag for my kit, because I can fit what I need to carry in here, but I don't need to have extraneous room. And I also am not feeling like curtailed in any way for the reasonable kit that I would bring on like a day shoot or something like that casually. So I wouldn't hesitate to use this as a laptop bag if I'm just kind of going around town and I just need to carry it to a coffee shop. What I wouldn't do is I wouldn't put a laptop and a computer, a laptop and a camera in this bag at the same time, because I don't think it can accommodate that level of pressure on either the camera or, more importantly, the laptop component. You might damage your screen, which I did once, and it was an incredibly expensive repair at Apple, so I don't recommend having any pressure on your screen. This dongle, it was like a little USB-C thing, was in between the screen and the keyboard, and I closed it in a rush because I was done work and I was ready to go out or do something, and I closed the lid onto this little piece here, and it just blackout, like ink, just exploded in the LCD or whatever, the liquid display. It was terrible. It was really expensive. So don't do that. Anyway, so that's the deal. That's the 10-liter Peak Design Sling version 2 in black that I got used and is my kind of daily carry now for the RF 100 to 500 and associated lenses. I hope that's useful for you. Let me know if you have questions. I actually have a question for you if you made it this far. I wear a lot of sunscreen, and I wear my kids' sunscreen that's zinc based. It's better for our skin, more environmentally responsible. But I will say it does tend to wear off on surfaces like this. And I've got some like sunscreen left, I don't know what to describe. There's like kind of leftovers on the bag itself. It's kind of like when you ever put on deodorant and you kind of like put your shirt on afterwards and you get that kind of like ribbing of a little bit of white substance on your shirt and it's really hard to get off. It's kind of like that. If you look real close here, you can see, a little bit of sunscreen here. So anyway, if you have any recommendations for how I can get that off of this bag, please let me know in the comments. But otherwise, I am pretty happy with this purchase and I recommend it as a used item for under $100. It's a good bag and it's going to serve me for a very long time. All right, take care. See you next time.